So let's show you what it looked like. Monster Energy Supercross from Indianapolis. Yes, the Triple Crown had been a problem for Lawrence throughout his 250 career. He only won one of those in his many years in that class. Struggled at the first Triple Crown of the year in the 450 of Anaheim. Here is race one, Ken Roczen, so good early, and he has the Ghostbusters hole shot.
Man, he was riding incredible all night long and really putting the pressure on Jett Lawrence and the rest of the field, making those guys, especially Jett, have to perform, make good starts, ride good laps, but also not panic as well. And a guy like Ken Roczen isn't easy to pass at this level.
But Lawrence does make the move there a few minutes into the race. Cooper Webb moving forward. A pass on Anderson. It's the rider second of the points, but then out of his control here.
Sadly, just wrong place, wrong time. Cade Clayson makes a mistake and just takes down Cooper Webb. And I hate this because when you think about it, this really changed the night and what the night looks like for Cooper Webb and possibly championship, what the championship looks like.
Cooper would end up 8th in this race, and Lawrence, after winning the duel at Roczen, takes the race 1 win. We go to race number 2. This time Lawrence off to the early lead, but watch Roczen on the charge in yellow.
Again, Ken Roczen, explosive at the beginning of the races, always has been one of his strong suits. Making the pass on Jett, he's able to execute this rhythm section, which was key.
Aaron Plessinger nearly gets the 18 of Lawrence as well.
Oh, I can't believe that. I can't believe that Chase Sexton saved that. Actually, that just shows you the strength in Chase Sexton. He's a big boy to be trying to knock around.
And there is the move, Lawrence on Roczen.
Yeah, great pass by Jett Lawrence. No contact made, just a great competitive pass.
And Sexton, we're starting to see the old form here. Halfway through this race.
Well, he is. He looked fast as each race went on. Assuming they're making some good adjustments for Chase Sexton. Just the starts weren't helping him.
Nearly makes contact with Anderson, who made a mistake there and eventually would finish it off with a pass. Checkered flags out, and Jett Lawrence, he made one mistake late. Roczen got close, but Lawrence able to hold on. You just can't mention the treacherous conditions.
Oh, it was gnarly, and even the riders were talking about it.
Oh yeah, hard to be perfect out here, but that's what Lawrence is going to try to do. Knifes up the inside. He and Roczen another showdown, but this time Sexton has a good start as well.
Yeah, I was just looking there. Eli Tomac came into the first corner first, but then he got closed out as they got into that rhythm section. But yeah, if you didn't like the first 2 races, you're not going to like what you saw this last one, that's for sure.
Aaron Plessinger didn't like that.
Look, AP looked like he was upset, but I don't think that was on purpose by Jason Anderson. Jason Anderson made a 90-degree right turn in the whoops.
Here's the pass this time. Lawrence, he also had to deal with Sexton behind him. Great fight between he and Roczen.
Well, it was go time for a second there. I thought maybe Lawrence was going to lay up and just take the second, but he didn't have a choice. He had to get after it or he's going to get passed by the defending Supercross champ.
And finally finishes the pass off on Roczen there. Yes, had Sexton passed Lawrence, Roczen was going to win the overall. Sexton keeps going, he takes second.
Yeah, again, a great run by Chase Sexton in this final race of the Triple Crown, and I expect that he'll have some more good races and continue to get better. He said that they're working on the track, or working on the bike.
No work left for this guy to do. 1-1-1 in the Triple Crown, 3 straight weekends where he has the win and quickly stretching the points lead. There's the hug from his Honda HRC team manager, Lars Lindstrom. Roczen and Sexton on the podium. It was close between those two. And we'll show you those overall results to show how close it was. Roczen second, Sexton third. Anderson had his ups and downs, but he was 4th. And again, that first race crash by Webb really set him back. He ends up 5th.
It did, yeah. He was playing catch up from that point on, and stuff like that can really turn the tides of how your night go. He talked about it on the podium, and you hate to see it. You know, just one slip up by a guy getting lapped early on in the race, and man, it just completely changes the tune of what these points look like.
Now, these are not the series standings. This is the Triple Crown points. We do hand out a trophy to the rider who does the best in the 3 Triple Crown races that we have in a given season. Webb won the first Triple Crown in Anaheim, and 4th, I believe, tonight. Leads him with a small advantage over Lawrence and then Roczen in our Triple Crown standings. So that's another championship within a championship to watch. Chase Sexton was our Triple Crown champion last year, and of course, the Supercross season champ as well. So let's get an update on Sexton, who showed some signs of speed here tonight. Send it to Will Christian.
Thank you, Jason. Catching up with Chase Sexton now after the podium there, Chase. You talked a lot to me on the podium about how you're starting to feel a lot more like yourself. I think the booth seeing it, we're all seeing that kind of like Chase Sexton speed is coming back. So how do you feel about it? Where are you at with the bike? And is that a big part of it, or is this kind of come down to you personally in a sort of mental side of things?
It's a little bit of both. I still don't have, I don't know if I don't have the speed or the spark that I had last year yet. It's coming back, trying to get better every week. I had a pretty gnarly off season, just not being able to do a lot of motos, and I'm really just, I wish I was like where I'm at now before the season started, but it is what it is, and better late than never. So obviously we're not where we want to be as far as winning races, but I feel like we're starting to kind of climb back towards the top, and tonight was a good telltale of where I'm heading. And my starts, like I said, I need a lot of work on my starts, but other than that, my riding was pretty good tonight. I think I came through the pack well, made good passes, which I haven't done in a while, and starting to see some more of what I had last year.
When you make the change, as you did before the season started there, and do the team switch, how much of that are you really prepared for? I mean, yourself, other riders, everyone's had to go through it, but is it a bigger deal? Do you have to go through more than you ever sort of really imagined?
Yeah, it's a lot more than I thought it was going to be. I think I didn't really take into account the aluminum frame to steel frame. It's a big difference, and yeah, we're kind of paying the price for that right now. But like I said, we'll get there, and yeah, these are just growing pains and steps that we got to take to get back to the top.
Great attitude as always, Chase. It's good to see you back on the path to the top. Thank you.
Thank you, Will. Here's your Monster Energy 450 season standings. That's the big difference. You always say, RC, if you get one race back, you're in trouble, and Webb's the only one within a race now.
Yeah, I mean, you're not always in trouble, but stats will show you that you're going to need a little bit of luck, especially against a guy like Jett Lawrence and just his ability and what we think he is capable of doing.
Sexton is 25 down. That's one full race.
Yeah.
We'll be going to Seattle next weekend, but I think everyone knows that things are changing in a hurry in this championship, and that includes our own Jason Thomas, who's got a report trackside and more on this Lawrence surge. JT?
So I'm standing in the whoops where, in my opinion, race 3 was won and lost. And this is where Jett Lawrence was jumping to. Now, my cameraman is standing on the takeoff, and I'm standing on the landing. And you can see behind me how these ruts are where Jett Lawrence was landing. And this is the kicker. This is the margin for error. You see where this tough block is, and you see where he cross ruts if he lands just to his right of that. You're talking about a 6-inch window that he's got to navigate each and every lap. And I think that really speaks to where we are in this series right now. In big picture, we're at a tipping point in the story of Jett Lawrence. Now, I think if you go back over time, you go back to 1993 and you watch Jeremy McGrath, you go to 2001 and you watch Ricky Carmichael dethroning Jeremy McGrath, there's always a moment in time, however brief, when you can see the tide turning, you can see the torch being handed to whoever is going to go on the next great run. I believe that time is right now. Jett Lawrence has won 3 races in a row. They're throwing everything they have at him, and it's still not enough. He's learning, he's checking each box. Here in Indianapolis, he learned how to win all 3 Triple Crown races. So I ask, what's next? I would say really nothing. I think we are on the precipice of Jett Lawrence going on the next great run. And you could say that's hyperbolic, but history would argue that point and say that's exactly where we are tonight.
Thank you, JT. Those are strong words, but look, we have seen this before. Rick Johnson wins 2 out of 3 titles. Then Jeff Stanton wins 3 out of 4, takes over. Jeremy McGrath takes over from there and wins 7 out of 8. And then you, Ricky Carmichael, from there won 5 titles in 6 years. If my math is right, that's 15 titles out of 18 seasons between 3 riders. So we've seen dominant runs and title streaks before. And as JT's saying, sometimes it happens real fast. Are we there now?
Well, I mean, I think we are, and that's why I said it at the beginning of the show. If he comes out and solidifies, if he wins, he solidifies himself as a champion, and this is his championship to lose. And I kind of elaborate on what JT said. He is checking all the boxes off. He's making rookie mistakes, but then he comes back, he retaliates, and he doesn't make those same mistakes very often. 2 times. He comes out here, everyone's like, oh, he's not very good statistically, and look, he just crushed the stat book here tonight. This is what he's capable of. Honestly, the only way that anyone's going to beat him for the championship is if they rely on his rookie mistakes. He's going to have to make some rookie mistakes. He's going to have to get better when Mother Nature rains down. He definitely needs to improve there. I mean, you go back and you start digging deep. What if we didn't? I know you say what if, but what if we didn't have mud races at San Francisco and San Diego? You want to bet that he probably wouldn't have won one of those 2 races? I mean, so you start really digging in, and he probably would have had more wins by now. I know it's if. I get that. You guys are going to tear me up for that. But he's just that good. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I love seeing greatness. I have a ton of respect for all these guys. And JT's right. They are throwing everything they can at this guy. They're doing everything possible, trying to beat him in any way, shape, or form. But every time they try and he is able to overcome them, then he's just gaining more and more experience by that. So he's going to be tough to beat. He's going to be around a long time. If you don't like it, you better learn to love it.
Yeah, well, I can also say this, though. When McGrath had his run and you had your run, that was in some ways great for the sport, to have that level of greatness. I mean, you can track how popular Supercross was when McGrath started winning and then when it ended. So sometimes these runs have positives, even though we like the parody as well.
Well, you're watching greatness, and I can tell you, too, what you say. Once you learn how to do it, the rest is history from that point.
Hi, folks. Lee Diffie from NBC Sports here. If you truly enjoyed what you just watched, you can get more news, interviews, and highlights by subscribing to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube page. You can get it all, so go for it.